You know that person who walks into a room and just lights it up? That's the exact energy of the ESFP, who we often call the performer. So in this explainer, we're going to dive deep into their world and really understand what makes them tick.
And if there's one idea to hold on to, it's this. This is the key that unlocks everything. For the ESFP, the whole world really is a stage. They're not just passive observers, they are active participants, and they come alive in that spotlight with an energy that's just so infectious.
All right, let's officially meet the performer. So who are they? First thing to know, they are completely tuned in to the world around them. Their primary focus is always external, on what they can see, hear, taste, touch, and feel right here, right now.
At their very core, ESFPs are spontaneous, optimistic people who have this incredible natural gift for connecting with others. Yeah, they're often the life of the party, but don't mistake that for being shallow. They've also got this really deep, warm sympathy, which makes them fantastic peacemakers because they're just so good at reading a room.
So how do they actually see the world? I mean, it's not just a random love of life. It's actually powered by a couple of core mental processes that really shape their entire way of being. Let's break it down.
Their number one tool, you could even call it their superpower, is extroverted sensing. We'll call it C for short. This is what makes them so grounded in reality, so adaptable, and so brilliant at just improvising on the spot. They're not off in the clouds with abstract theories. They are fully 100% engaged with what is happening right now.
But here's where it gets really interesting. That powerful external focus is only half the story. It's balanced by this internal compass, which we call introverted feeling. So while their senses are constantly asking what's going on right now, there's this quiet inner voice asking, but how do I feel about this? It's this beautiful dance between external action and internal values that really defines the ESFP.
And this combination creates the ultimate hands-on learner. Seriously, they want to do the thing, not just read a manual about it. Put an ESFP in a practical workshop and they will absolutely thrive. Ask them to memorize a textbook? Well, that's going to be a struggle. Long-winded explanations and rigid routines are basically their kryptonite because they learn by doing, by experiencing, by living.
Okay, so like any great performer, ESFPs have moments where they absolutely shine and other areas where they can run into a few challenges. It's all about understanding both their time in the spotlight and what's lurking in the shadows.
So in the spotlight, ESFPs are just masters of making life more fun. Their enthusiasm is absolutely contagious. They're witty, they're practical, and they have this amazing go-with-the-flow attitude that just naturally draws people in. Plus, they often have this incredible eye for beauty and aesthetics in art, in fashion, in everything.
But, and there's always a but, the shadow side of living completely in the moment can create some hurdles. That intense focus on what feels good right now can sometimes lead to trouble with long-term planning, like with money or big commitments. And because they hate conflict, they might just avoid it altogether, which, as we know, can make things worse down the road. So, the real key here is figuring out how to balance those spotlights and shadows. True, deep fulfillment for the performer comes from building a life that feels meaningful long after the applause has faded.
And here it is, the core challenge. That powerful extroverted sensing can sometimes be so loud that it just drowns out everything else. The constant hunt for new sensations can completely override that quiet, internal value system we talked about, leading them to make choices that maybe aren't the best for them in the long run.
Now, the path to growth isn't about becoming a totally different person. Not at all. It's about strengthening a part that's already there. It really just comes down to consciously pausing, even for a second, before acting, and letting that introverted feeling have its say. It's about learning to listen to your own inner values and letting them guide that incredible action-oriented spirit.
So when an ESFP really nails this balance, what does a successful life look like? It's not just about collecting cool experiences or having a lot of friends. No, it's something much, much richer.
True success is all about meaningful engagement. It's about finding that sweet spot where their natural talents for expression and joy aren't just for a good time, but actually bring real value to themselves and to others. It's about sharing that incredible love of life in a way that truly matters.
So how do you get there? Well, here are 6 practical rules for any ESFP to live by. Think of it like a roadmap. It's all about embracing your strengths while also being brave enough to face your weaknesses.
It's about learning to do things like, say, smile at criticism, not see it as a personal attack, but as a cool opportunity to see the world from a different angle and grow.
And that leaves us with one final big question. For the ESFP, the world will always be a stage. But the ultimate journey is about transforming that stage, moving it from a place of simple performance to a place of genuine, lasting, and truly meaningful connection.